Vestapum. The Bnei Israel, they took captive the women of Midian and their young children. Beiskol behemtom, beiskol mikneim, their animals, their livestock, beiskol chelim bozozu, and all their wealth they had plundered. Beiskol areim b'mosh rosam, beiskol tirosam, the cities in their settled state and all their temples of idolatry, surfu beish, they burnt. So Rashi says, Tirosam could either mean their palaces, Mokample Torim, Shehud Loshen Moshev Komrim Lo Yodei Chukeim. That's where the priests were. Loshen Moshev Soreim Moshev Tag Sani Plishtam. Okay, question? No, Tirosam. What is the meaning of Tirosam? Okay. Yud. Okay, Vayikhu is Kol HaSholo, Vayikol HaBakoach. They took all the spoils in Malkoach. One's referring to people, one's referring to inanimate. Ba'odum ve'behemo. Rashi, Vayikhu is Kol HaSholo. Magid shoyuksher v'tzadikim. I mean, you have such wealth, and they didn't take any of it for themselves. Lo nechshtu ala gezel lishloch yad b'bizu shlo b'rishus. Right? They did not they weren't suspect that they would actually embezzle from the spoils without Shenema as kol hasholo. That's the kol hasholo. Aleim fush b'kabola shinayach keider recholim af anshi milchoma sheboch. What's shinayach? Shinayach, what you eat, you chew up. So even the soldiers, they're going to fight to kill. You're in that kind of mode. You say that quality of that kind of person is suspect to do certain things. Kulam tzadikim. Okay, you know it's interesting. It's a little difficult because who is qualified to go to this war? Only the purest of the pure. So there's no proof. These people, they weren't suspect because this is the most advanced, spiritually perfect people, and that's why they were chosen for this war, because they failed with Balpor and with the Moab. So, but I'm saying, what's the proof that Jewish soldiers, when they go to war, they're not suspect? It's this particular group, right? He's quoting a pasuk, Shir Hashirim, right? Shinayach keider acholim. Their teeth are like the flock of sheep, which are white, fleece, pure. Of course, this particular group. But another group, who knows? You know, imagine you have Chofetz Chaim, you have the Rav Moshe Feinstein, you have all the Vilna Gaon. These are the soldiers. Is there even a question they're going to be suspect? They're going to embezzle anything?
I think it's like anything else. They set the standard. They set the standard how it should be.
No.
So that's how.
Nobody's proving. Even Rav Moshe sets a standard. The average person follows his standard.
Of course not.
These people have a capacity nobody else has that capacity.
Right.
You know what it means? During the time Balpor and that, even in their minds, they weren't even attracted to these women. If you had any thought in your mind, you were disqualified to go into this war. So what level of purity are we speaking of? This is the exceptional level. Go ahead, Howard. Okay. I just want Sholo min hamatalplin shal mabush tachshitim. Sholo is referring to the movables, clothing, and ornaments. Buz, who bizes metalplin, shein of tachshit. Buz means something of lesser value. So that is what? Just spoils. Malkoach. What's Malkoach? Odom ubehimo. Bokamach because of Shevi Eitzel Malkoach. Shevi ba'odom Malkoach ba'behimo. Okay, relatively speaking. I just want to look. Vayaviu El Moshe Belaloza HaKohen Belokol Das Bnei Yisrael. They brought it to Moshe Elozer HaKohen as Shvi V'Sarokoach V'Sashol V'Machne V'Aris Moshe Al Yarni Yerecho. Well, people justify many things. And of course, they have no right. They have no right. No, it belongs to the government. It belongs to the government. They're representing. They're not just marauders. The Jews? No, it belongs to Klal Yisrael. He makes the decision what you do with it. It belongs to Klal. No, not Moshe. It belongs to Klal Yisrael. Now, whatever that means, so Hashem will tell them. Hashem will say what they should do with it. Right? Their laws had to dictate. What do you do with spoils? Because the king, because the people exist for the king. Moshe Rabbeinu exists for the people, like we discussed in the Maral. It was the other way. So this is calling so.
It's just the potential of the Jewish people. I mean, it seems to be quite the exact opposite of what happened in Balbior. So here, it's the potential shows you really what the neshama is, that they are capable of fighting Balbior, that they are capable of fighting this enemy and winning this tzaddikim. We all have that potential.
No. There's nothing. This is the minority of the minority. What does this have to do with the potential? Of course, every human being has bechira. Now, if you don't have bechira, you're not culpable. That means every Jew by Balpor had the choice not to do Balpor. But I don't need this proof, because otherwise there's no culpability. How can you have a liability if it's beyond your capacity?
Sometimes we don't realize what.
No, but again, you don't need that. Every human being has bechira. Finished. You cannot be held accountable unless you had choice. That's the reason why a person is incompetent. He's not held accountable for his behavior, because he's a shota. They went. Moshe became angered regarding the Pekudei Achoyim, meaning the ones who oversaw the army, the officers. How does he translate Pekudei? Pekudei Achoyim? The commanders. Sorei Alofim, the officers who oversaw 1,000, Sorei Meos, oversaw 100, Haboy Mitzvah Melchama, who returned from the war. What's the Yitzov? This is very important. Yitzov Moshe al Pekudei Achoyim, Memunim al Achoyim, Lelamdos Kol Sirchan Adar Tolui Bigdolim. Hear this? The failing of a generation is dependent upon who? The leadership. The leadership is liable for the failing of the generation. Sheish koach biyodem limchos. Yeah? Because it was within their power to stop it, to protest it. And since they didn't, and that's why he didn't get angry at the ordinary soldiers. He was angry at what? At the Pekudei Achoyim, the commanders, the leadership. In Baltimore used to say, Gemara says, Tov Shivro from Legenim. The best of doctors go to Gehenim. Why? What? Why? So he says because a patient, his life, very often it's a question of life and death, and the doctor should immediately tend to where that need is. So what does he do? He's busy, he feels put upon, and he delays. And because of his delay, because of his own personal interests, people could die, people suffer. So therefore, the best of the doctors, that's your field, it's a level of responsibility, which is that if you delay or you tarry, whatever it is, because of the consequence of that, you deserve to go to Gehenna. That's what he used to always say. So he says, Kol Shkem Rabbanim. Here on the physical level, so if a Rav, where it's his responsibility to maintain the tzibur, the kilo, at a certain level, and he doesn't, lets things go, just slide and slip, or even advises them wrongly. How much greater is the liability? That's the point he always used to make. You say, Kol Shkem Rabbanim, that's the spiritual leadership. That's why Howard's staying in the kitchen. He's not coming out of the kitchen.
I'm going under the covers. Forget the kitchen.
Okay, let's see tomorrow.